Y'all, I've been following along with some of the stuff that's going on with our new president. And today, while I was listening to Def Leppard, I had this strange thought, and I made this post on Facebook. So I'm sitting here listening to Def Leppard, and I got this strange thought that if we dismantle DEIA, does that mean I can't have an exceptional musician in the band if they're disabled? What about a recovering addict in the band? Addiction is a disability. And then I started thinking on a broader scale, and that's what brought me to do this video. You think about it. Most musicians, nearly most musicians, whether they suffer from addictions or not, have some kind of psychological disorder. And most musicians, nearly most musicians, suffer from depression on various degrees, which is also a disability. Now, if we dismantle DEIA and we get rid of DEIA hiring, think about the broader implications of that. Major labels would have to release nearly half of their artists in their label from their contracts because they could be considered a DEIA hire, which would mean that quite a few major labels would probably go belly up. They would they would have to shut down their doors. And because it seems like having some kind of psychological disorder is a prerequisite to being a musician. And then, of course, if you're on a major label, that whether you're on a major label or not, the rigors of touring and gigging, you know, they compound whatever your psychological disorder is. And it's not just in rock and roll, it's in all genres of music. So now we say ah, major labels get rid of, let's just go on low end scale, 40% of their catalog, 40% of their artists that they have to release from their contract because they be considered a DEIA hire. They're going to lose a lot of money and they're going to go bankrupt. Some labels may be all right because over the years, some of the major labels have diversified enough to where the selling of music isn't their sole income. So there may be some major labels that may be all right. It may be rocky, but they'd be all right. But then what does that mean for artists? If you think about it, It goes all the way down to the artist that is still that is just getting their start and just starting to play gigs. And that means that bars can't hire them because they would be considered a DEIA hire. So now you just wreaked havoc with dismantling DEIA hires. You just dismantled the whole music scene. For what? And for what? Honestly. Because somebody wants to play at being king. And you know what's even funnier than that? If you think about this, that these musicians that do support Trump, that is the most oxymoron. And you voted person in office that's going to come after you. I mean, think about it. It's kind of like the old tale about the snake and the frog. Frog gets snake over to dry land safely, and then the snake turns around and bites the frog, and the frog says, I just saved your life. Why would you do that? I'm a snake. That's what I do. So, how far is this going to go? In the lives that it's going to impact, the damage that is already being done. So, that's just my thought for today. And if you're a musician, if you're an artist, we all need to come together as a collective voice and stand up and say no. Because DEIA, dismantling of it, will affect us artists. I mean, think about it. If getting your music on a streaming service is considered a DEIA hiring practice because you've got some kind of psychological disorder, then streaming companies like Spotify, Dido, there's a big long list of them, won't be able to put you on their streaming service because you'd be considered a DEIA hire. Well, that's about all I want to say about that today. Maybe I'll explore this more. But I want artists to unite against dismantling DEIA. Peace, love, and rock and roll, y'all.